All right, viewers, now let's just shift our focus on the top story that we're tracking in this bulletin. The leader of Lebanon's Hezbollah is now promising to retaliate for the deadly attacks on its communication devices after Israel's defense minister has announced a new phase of the war. Hezbollah and the Israeli military traded new strikes over the border on Thursday. Fears are increasing that 11 months of exchanges of fire between the two sides will escalate into an all-out war. Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah's leader, has said that Israel crossed a red line this week after the bombings, widely blamed on Israel, in which hundreds of pagers and walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah were remotely detonated in Lebanon and Syria. Hezbollah began striking Israel almost immediately after Hamas's October 7 attack that sparked the Israel-Hamas war. They have come close to a full-blown war on several occasions. All right, viewers. Joining me right now, live on the broadcast, is my guest, A.K. Sewach, who's Major General A.K. Sewach, who is joining me at this point. Sir, I appreciate you joining me on the broadcast, but at this moment, it is very worrying, the news that we are getting as the Israel-Hezbollah war, is only intensifying, while the Hezbollah chief has warned Israelis won't be returning to north until Gaza war ends, downplaying, in fact, the role or the device of the blast. Major General.
Simran, no doubt about it. This detonation of pager as well as walkie-talkie has started a new era of warfare. And you will find it, the war will now escalate. The issue is that both pager as well walkie-talkie are supposed to be obsolete and they are no more being used. And why they were used basically by Hezbollah was that they were already having an idea that possibly the Israel can use, detonating of their mobile phone, which is easier because it gives you a location, it gives your, microphone, it also gives basically what is the stored in data. But as far as pager is concerned, it only uses a local network, it doesn't have GPS, it doesn't have camera. So it was considered as very safe. But it turned out to be, in fact, a bomb which you are carrying yourself. And so same way the walkie-talkie. So very cleverly and very professionally, the Israel, in case they have done it, because they have still not owned up, they have infiltrated in the supply chain from where these pager as well as walkie-talkie has come, whether it has come from Hungary or it has come from any other place. And they have installed that explosive 3 gram of plastic along with a lithium battery. Once it was detonated, it has acted like a bomb, and it has created such a havoc and panic in the minds of people in Lebanon that they are now quite worried. And this will now escalate the war, no doubt about it. But one thing one must understand, such type of action open new front as far as warfare in the whole world is concerned. You can always do such an act and then deny it because there is no proof to prove that it is Israel or Mossad which has done it. Now, let's see how things will fan out from here. The point is that as it is Israel, knows it that the military capability of Hamas is being already, you can say, downgraded to almost 10 to 20%. It is no more a potent force to create a challenge to Israel in another about 5 to 7 years. But Hezbollah is intact. Hezbollah military capability as it is more than 4 to 5 times than Hamas. They have 1.5 lakh rocket missile. They have about 1 lakh basically their soldiers. They have an armored brigade and they are very close to Israel. And from southern Lebanon, they can create havoc in Israel. And therefore, Israel has now made up their mind that if they do not blunt the military capability of Hezbollah now, Hezbollah is going to create a problem to them in future. And that's why, if you see it, the Israel focus has shifted from Gaza to the northern side toward Lebanon. And they like that some sort of fight take place between both and the war escalate so that Israel can then attack in Lebanon the basis of Hezbollah and try to make sure that their military capability is reduced to not more than about 50 to 60%, and that's likely to happen. Now the point is come is that Hezbollah is Iran proxy, so is Hamas, so is Houthi. But Hezbollah is a Shia militant, and it is more close to Iran. It has been backed by Iran. It is trained and motivated by Iran, and it is funded by Iran. Now the point which comes is will this war escalate at this point in time? Obviously, it will escalate because Nasrullah has already told time and again that the red line has been already crossed by the Israel and they are going to retaliate, it seems. Though the same statement was even passed after their leader Fawaz Shakur was killed. And also when Ismail Hania was killed, it was, anticipated that possibly Iran will also retaliate, but it has not happened. But the war possibly is now going to be increased, and retaliation possibly will be there by Hezbollah, and this will escalate this war. A new warfare is started off, and a lot of lessons which has to be learned from what has happened in last about 5 6 days in Lebanon, even for a country like us, which has an enemy both on the northern and western.